Christian Mukbang. Welcome to Christian Mukbang. Today is April 15, 2025, and I'm about to have Baker's. Great food close to home. Come to Baker's. This better be the thumbnail. Okay, I'm gonna have, what I'm having here is a cheese and egg burrito with no red sauce. That's how I ordered it. No red sauce. It was a regular combo, but they only had orange juice today. So, I lost my handkerchief. I don't know where it is, so here's my handkerchief. It's a napkin. Table napkin, tablecloth. Okay, here we go. Baker's burrito, egg and cheese. And then this is going to be with, let's take a look here. That's pretty good. Maybe this is probably at least a half a pound. And I don't know if you can see that there. I got a new setup here in the car where I'm at. I'm on a job out here doing some baseboard work. Maybe you can take a look and see what I've got here. It's just kind of a new setup here. Hang on a minute. You can kind of see there's my mobile office there, right there. And then you can see I've got more. There's my coat back there for when I have to go do stuff with the books. Book salesman, $1 million. Listen, this is Christian Mukbang, and I'm about to have this burrito from Baker's. To Baker's. Yeah. And then I'm going to have some hot sauce here. Original hot sauce. So I've got a Baker's burrito. This is Christian Mukbang. Original Baker's hot sauce here. This is original hot sauce. Baker's. Since 1952. Wow, how about that? Twin kitchen. Time to wake up your senses. There, with hot sauce from Baker's. And then, boy, they gave me a lot of hot sauce in here. And then also some hash browns that come with this. Tots. If you order them here at Baker's, they call them tots. And here they gave me one fry that goes with that. That was not a good fry. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was not a good fry. It actually didn't taste like anything. I don't know what it was. It didn't even taste like beef jerky. It wasn't good. It wasn't awful and horrible. It was like cardboard that tasted kind of like a fry. Oh, but the tots, man, the hash browns, perfect. It must have been like a fry that had fallen off or something. I don't know. Well, here's another fry. Let's see. Oh, yeah. This is good, man. Baker's is having a good day today. 99% of the time, they're having a good day. You can't get this in In-N-Out Burger. Baker's, you got to be in the IE, baby. Now look at this. Original hot sauce, Baker's. I don't know where they make this. I don't know who makes it, but you can read the ingredients, see what's in it. Maybe. You got to go to the website before the government takes it down. The government, man, they're taking down all these websites, you know. Just go to the website. I always tell people, go to the website before the government takes it down. So, I'm doing Christian Mukbang today, and I've got Baker's, and I've got to drink now. I'm going to try another fry. They've added a couple fries in there. It's added bonus. Man, these tater tots. Baker's is killing it today. Confirmed, I've turned into a weirdo. I just said you're killing it. Okay, now I have this, my water. I'm still not drinking any coffee. Today's Christian Mukbang will have to be a little shorter in length. The time duration, because I got to be at the job site a little earlier. So I'm probably going to hold off on this orange juice till a little later. because I don't want it right now. So I'm going to try this burrito first. Oh, and Christian Mukbang. Today we're reading the Bible. This book here. We have Baker's. We have this burrito right here. Right? We have this burrito right here. I want to make sure I get it. We have a burrito, right? And then we have this book right here. We're reading the Bible, the bread of life that came down from heaven, so to speak. And then we have this bread of yumminess that came straight from Baker's right here. Great food close to home. But not to make light of one or the other or whatever. What I'm saying is, this is the book we're reading today. This is Christian Mukbang. We're reading the Gospel of John, chapter 9. Number 1, verse number 1 through verse number 12. And now let's take a bite of this burrito. You know, when I get the breakfast burrito at Baker's, usually I don't even put, well, my first bite, I don't go with the hot sauce. Now the Baker's hot sauce, it's like really good hot sauce for this kind of food. And I don't, and Baker's is really, really good for this kind of food. I would say that Baker's, if you put Baker's and Del Taco together in any category, no, man, Baker's. But maybe that's just because, now I grew up with Del Taco as well as Baker's. Also Noggles. But this is really good. Right there. You can see the cheese, the egg. I know how they cook this, warm up the tortilla. They put it through a little warming tray. A rack that goes through on a roller and it pulls it through. I don't even want any of this sauce, but I'm going to try a little because I like it. I just like this. It just plain egg, a little butter in there too, I taste. And this is Christian Mukbang. Whoa. Today, I just realized I opened 2 of them. Okay, today, we're reading John chapter 9. I got to make sure the time here because we got to move. John chapter 9, verse number 1. Now, this is the story of, and look, man, I'm not going to, look, I woke up this morning, and the first thing I did was, I brushed my teeth, washed my face, had some water, and then I fed the animals there, dog and the cat, and then said goodbye to my wife, and then I went out here, and but on the way I was listening to the radio, and I was listening to the news, and I was hearing about all these words that people use, phrases that people come up with, and then I got to thinking about how people think and why they do the things that they do. And I'll just bring this up while we're talking on the subject of John chapter 9, because this is a Christian mukbang, but this is a Christian book right here, the Bible. And Baker's does not sponsor this program, but I'm eating at Baker's. And this is Christian Mukbang. Baker's is great food close to home. Come to Baker's. And that's all I'm saying about that. And I've also got these tater tots. Tots. They're not tater tots. They're tots on the menu. Whatever, man. They're hash browns. I don't know what you call them. This is what they are. They're really good. And this is Christian Mukbang. Say it with me. Christian Mukbang. Because you have Mukbang, and here you have Christian Mukbang. You see how that works? Think about it. You need to think, man. Okay, listen, I need to think. Somebody said, you need to think. I need to think. Yes, you're right. Right here. Hey, I have a question. And that is, how do I go to the back of the line? Remember that one? Well, if you would be the greatest in the kingdom, you need to go to the back of the line. The one that wants to be first become the last, and the greatest become the least. You know, you want to, I mean, that's the way it is. I'm just going to show you this now. It's words, man. But I see the news. If I hear the news, I just think bad things, bad things, bad things, bad things, bad things. If I go out and search for the news, I can look for good things, good things, good things, good things, good things. And then I have an attitude of, well, I'm missing out on something that I should be knowing about because of whatever reason that is. And one thing I know is that I don't have control over pretty much everything. So there it is. I don't have control over anything. But one thing I do have control over is that I can sit in this car where I'm at, and I can do this deal that I'm doing here. You know the thing. I am telling you that I am eating this food, and I am here at Baker's in the Inland Empire, and here it is. It's great food close to home. Baker's does not sponsor this program. I am having this egg and cheese burrito, but I got these things on my mind. Like, everybody has stuff on their mind, man. I'm not here to grind an axe with anybody. I am going to have this orange juice. My daughter told me the other day that when it comes to the question of whether or not to put sugar in your coffee or something that makes the coffee sweeter, she said she got it from somebody that life is bitter enough. So, hey, also, let's talk about the things that I'm glad for. First of all, I'm glad that I have both my arms and legs and my teeth. Look at how I just opened this with my teeth. Hey, not to mention that this is something that George Washington never had a problem with. Oh, he had wooden teeth, I know, or whatever he had. Hey, did you know that George Washington was a slave owner? Yeah. And also, why is the government tearing down all of these websites, man? I don't understand that. And then you have Christian Doge, and then not to mention regular normal Doge. And this is Christian Mukbang. I'm reading John chapter number 9. Jesus healed a man. Jesus healed as a man Jesus heals a man born blind. And this is the Logos 21 version. Christian Mukbang. And we're reading John chapter number 9. And look, man, I watch the news. I see it. I hear it as it comes across my, whatever it is, the algorithm. I can only filter so much. But if I'm driving down the road and I see, like I did the other day, that Tom Jones is playing up the street. And then I told somebody, and then they told me, well, hey, man, don't get too close to him because he had plastic surgery. He looks terrible. It's frightening. Well, now I have that to think about. So whatever I go into the situation with, maybe you have a positive attitude, maybe you don't. This is Christian Mukbang. This is not a self-help tutorial. I'm not anybody that's going to help you do anything in your life. It's going to improve your life. Except one thing. Just remember this. If you want some good hash browns, come to Baker's. It's great food close to home. Man, I'm telling you, I've never been to In-N-Out Burger where they had a bad day. Baker's is on their best day, which is 99.9% of the time. Now, breakfast, I've never had bad breakfast. I don't know what it is, man. Sometimes it's, every now and then, it's the fries. They'll be off by like something. They're never right there on the fries, and I don't know why. It's not a negative, it's not a downer. It's that I would say they're 99.99% on the fries, and one time or once in a while, I think one time we went through Baker somewhere about 2 a.m. and it was just, the fries weren't good. It was like, nah, 2 a.m., nah, come on. But anytime I've ever had a problem, we made it right immediately. Meal coupons, money back, exchange meals, anything I needed. Baker's is great food close to home. I put them on the same level as In-N-Out Burger for their hamburgers. There it is, I put it out there. Baker's. Now, this is not a competition to see who's better than somebody else. I'm just saying, Baker's burgers are pretty much as good as In-N-Out. In-N-Out's pretty much as good as Baker's, man. And that would be a coin cost, but I think I would go with Baker's if the line was too long at In-N-Out. Now, orange juice. I do this job out here, and I don't want to drink too much orange juice. This is a good burrito. Oh, let me get to John chapter 9 because I got to get on with this thing. I have about 15 minutes here today. So John chapter 9. This is Christian Mukbang, and I've got Baker's. Great food close to home. This is your Christian ASMR. And this is me eating Christian hash brown eating. That's what I'm doing. I'm a Christian hash brown eater. That's it. Now, that's not to say that Baker's is a sponsor of this show, but I'm just saying that I'm a Christian hash brown eater. There you go. Okay. Now, as to John chapter 9, think about that. Think about that. This is Christian Mukbang. Think about that. Now, how do you spell Mukbang? And how do you spell algorithm, for that matter? Next up, John chapter 9. Now, Jesus was always walking around with his disciples. I'm not going to get into all the details of where he was coming from and whatever, but except to say that there was a group of people that they were trying to kill him at this last place where he was at. And John chapter number 9, and this is the Logos 21 version. It's a modern yet accurate translation, reading now from the description of the book provided here. In everyday English, it is not a paraphrase, but closely resembles the everyday Greek called koine, or common, in which John wrote the gospel. And then this is the Logos 21 version, copyright 1996 by Arthur L. Farstad. All material other than scripture text, copyright 1996, absolutely free, incorporated. And there you go. And then, of course, I'm reading this as part of this lesson, and I'm using it not to make any money off of it. This is Christian Mukbang, and I have to have a book that is a Christian book while I eat this food. I'm a Christian food eater, and this is Christian Mukbang. Now think about that. Just think about that for a second, because this is a Christian show, and I don't even know if you're a Christian watcher of this show, or a Christian fan, or whatever it is you are, or a Christian mukbanger, but this is Christian Mukbang, and I'm reading John chapter number 9, and I'm eating Baker's great food close to home. Come to Baker's. Yeah, you know what? Baker's needs to write me a check, basically. There you go. But hey, they don't need to have to. I'm just saying they need to. I'm just joking, man. Come on. Unless I'm not. Okay, John chapter 9. Here go the disciples with Jesus. They've seen it all. Well, I would say they've seen it all. Some of it. They saw the miracle with the water and the wine. And then they were there with the woman that was caught in adultery. They know they're his disciples. They have been with him. They've have called others and led others to him. In other words, they want to know him, and they are trying to be like him. And they're trying to get other people to be like him, and they want to learn more from him. So what's happening here is within this context of whatever that is. They want to know and learn from the master, from the teacher. They're following this guy. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Jesus of Nazareth. So now as he was passing by, and here he is now with his disciples, having come from this other location where they were trying to kill him, and now in another location, and I don't know where that is. We'll have to see here in the story if it's revealed. I don't know yet. I'm only on chapter 9. Now, as he was passing by, and this is a story. Look, man, I'm just taking it as taking the Bible as a book. And if you want to take the Bible as something else, go ahead and take it as something else. I'm reading it. I don't need 7 other books to help me understand the Bible. To enjoy the Bible, or to not enjoy the Bible. It's a book. I can pick it up. I can put it down. Hopefully nobody's making me pick it up. Hopefully nobody's making me put it down. Although there are certain kind of books that people should not pick up, and they should tell people to put down, and they should make sure that nobody picks up. That's how I feel about it. I don't know where you would draw the line on books, but I have a line. I have a line on certain kind of books. And if you have a line, I don't need to know what your line is, but I'll tell you what, I have a line. And if you don't have a line, or you don't know where the line is, on what kind of books, or which books people shouldn't be looking at, then you need to stay out of certain professions, and I'll just leave it at that. Man, I need a new catchphrase. So, here it is. Jesus heals a man born blind. Got 20 minutes. Jesus heals a man born blind. So here we go, John chapter 9. This is Christian Mukbang, by the way. Look at all this. Look at all these packets of hot sauce I got from Baker's. I got Baker's, and then I've got potato chops here. These are really good. Baker's is great food close to home, man. I'm telling you. Come to Baker's. Yeah. Somebody needs to get their checkbook out and do this. They need to get their checkbook out. Let's say this is a pen. And they need to go like this. Click, click. And then they need to hand it to me. Yeah. And that somebody needs to do that, man. And it's got to be, if it's, I don't know who it is, but I mean, hello? Yeah, Bakers? Anybody out there? No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking about all of that. All of that I'm just joking about. What I'm not joking about is this. This is a story in the Bible. You can take it as you will, whether you want to hear it or not. But there's a lesson to be learned here about and for Jesus Christ, and for anybody that wants to follow Jesus Christ. If you want to see it that way, because it's here, and people ask all the time, They have asked me before, when I used to do comedy, and they would ask me, are you really a Christian? And you can hear these on some of the tapes. Are you really a Christian? My girlfriend wants to know if you're really a Christian. I said, yeah, I'm really a Christian. I'll bet you're a Christian. Man, 90%, listen, everywhere I go, no matter where I do, at that time, no matter where I do my comedy, whatever it is, stand-up comedy, people ask me, are you a Christian? And then they want me to prove it by showing them where in the Bible it says that I'm a Christian. At some point, I just stopped trying to answer them. And I'll tell you why. There's two reasons. Because in the Bible, first of all, the Bible doesn't say anything in the Bible about following the Bible. But secondly, in the Bible, there are many things that are said. One is, by their fruit, you will know. By your fruit, we'll all know you. By this, we'll all know that you're my disciples. When you have love for one for another, not when you can show somebody in the Bible that you're a Christian. And I am disturbed today. I'm not even chewing with my mouth closed. I don't even care. But I gotta hurry but I am grieved, man, in my spirit. When I look, man, you talk about, now look, I'm not trying to make a big deal out of this for clicks. Oh man, the little crumbs in there, really good. This was really good today from Baker's. Baker's had a really good day today. And the total on that was $11.04. And the reason I had to get the orange juice was because the coffee machine is out today. So, but Baker's is batting 1,000 this past 2 weeks. So, we are feasting, friends, on the bread of life. Now, if you look at today, in today's Christianity, that's Christian society, I am grieved that Christians, now I'm not talking about Christians, I'm talking about Christians. And these are these kind of Christians, man. It's this kind. They make sure that look, if you want to follow the Bible, that you have to understand something about these people. They do not either understand or accept that the Bible is just not for every person. They don't either understand that or they don't accept that. But when you deal with people like this, you have to be careful in certain settings, because when you put the Bible in combination with certain people, individuals, and then with those individuals, then in certain groups of people, every now and then you'll get somebody that is mentally deranged. That's a word people like to throw around today. Deranged. You're gonna find somebody that's mentally deranged. And let's see if I can find that in here right now. And I'm using that because that would be an extreme case where you got to be careful sometimes when you make the Bible available to certain people, and then that's fine. It's a book. It's available to every person to read, to learn from, and to possibly receive warning against other things that are dangerous. And now here comes along a person that is mentally deranged. That suddenly here's something in the Bible that tells... Now, look, man, and I'm not saying John Brown was mentally deranged, but I also say that I do not support, I'm not a John Brown, but I do read the Bible. And I think that some people that read the Bible, and I do think there's a lot of reason why people that read the Bible and want to follow the Bible and want to be true to the principles that the Bible states that are God's and that God wants his people and his children to follow. I understand why there would be a basis for someone to think that they should go out and do what John Brown did, or what a lot of the other people do today in our time based on the Bible, which is why I say the Bible is not for everyone. And some people shouldn't even read the Bible. We should never even show them the Bible. But the Bible could be for you, might be for everybody in a church, it might be for your children if you want it to be. I'm not saying the Bible is like that other kind of book that nobody should be looking at. Especially, well, I'm just going to leave it at that. But the Bible is just a book, like any other book. It's not going to do anything until you pick it up and do something either with it or about it, or in response to it. Either yes or no. Yes or no. Are you in or out? And here is the Bible. But here I come to this word that I was looking up in the revised edition of the new Roget's Thesaurus Dictionary, in dictionary form, rather. And this is a good one. I don't know. I think I got this at a free bookshelf. But here it is, deranged. Discompose. Derange. Discompose. Untidiness. Disturb. Upset. Disarrange. Disorder. Disorganize. Confusion. Dement. Distract. Frenzy. Insanity. So then, derangement, a discomposement, a disturbance, an upsetness or untidiness, a disarrangement, a disorderment, a disorganizement, confusion, dementedness, distractedness, frenziedness, insanityness, or you're insane. Now, this is what people throw this word around today, as in this person is deranged or that person is deranged, if they do not agree with my political candidate. And I'm going to tell you what I am seeing in the news, and then what I'm encountering in the body of Christ, and why I'm doing this Christian Mukbang today. Because people are scared today, friends. I don't know if you knew that. But there's many Christians out there. These are not Christians. These are Christians. And their mission is to impose the Bible on people that either don't want it or don't need it. So if you put somebody in contact with the Bible, and then you put that person, certain people, not all people, but some people, have you noticed? Now think about this. Have you noticed? If you can notice this, all you got to do is watch the news, or don't watch the news. Just pick up the paper, or just walk down your street. You don't feel it as much if you don't watch the news, but if you're not living around the world. But because we got to be sensitive to certain people. But if you take certain people, you put the Bible and certain people together in certain settings, such as a school, a civic organization, a church, a nation, or a state, say, or state department, so to speak. And then you might have an agency or a task force or whatever, and then somebody's in charge of that, whatever it is, man. And then you put these people in charge or in touch or in contact with the Bible, and then you put these people in certain settings. That's going to spell disaster for the rest of us, man. for all society. And this has happened. We've seen it over and over and over, where people will use the Bible and they'll use whatever influence they have to use the Bible to actually cause people to become deranged and behave in a deranged manner through fear, and people become confused. And it's the way that people control people through the Bible. It's one way that people use the Bible, as they might use any holy book, to confuse or fear and confuse people, or infuse fear into a people, and thus to control them by using the very book that they use to promote the fear, to bring the salvation. And it is just not what I'm doing here. I'm not interested in that. What I'm interested in doing, what I'm interested in doing is wrapping this up in 5 minutes. So as he passed by, he saw a man who had been blind from birth. This is John chapter 9, Logos 21 version, verse 1 and following. And his disciples questioned him, saying, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? And first of all, just know, they were asking this question because they wanted to know. Read it, learn the history, learn the religion, and even you would be wanting to know this. I would want to know this. Why? How? What's the reason for this? They believed, they wanted to know, they believed in God, but this man must have sinned, because surely this wouldn't have happened had he not done something wrong, or his parents. So what was wrong here? Well, I'll tell you what's wrong. Neither this man sinned nor his parents, Jesus replied, but this came about so that God's works might be displayed in him. Okay, I'm going to camp out there for a second, quickly. I'm not going to camp out, I'm just going to lay one stake around the tent area. This happened so that God's works might be displayed in him. Man, that blows my mind. I can't even imagine a lot of that, because you start coming into other words, like other things that I dare not even say on the internet. It'll pick up a red flag on this video, and that is the word hollow. And then you have this word, right? Cost. I mean, man, don't even talk to me about this came about so that the works of God could be displayed in him. Don't even talk to me about that stuff. And don't even get me started on the Trail of Tears, which for some reason I feel like I can say on the internet. And all of that stuff that happened with the millions of people. And look, man, people have been killing each other on purpose for reasons. And don't get me started on why. I don't understand why. And then to top it off, we've got the government is tearing down websites. I don't understand anything that's going on. And I go to church to try to get some help and some support. And this is what I get. Who sinned? Who's to blame? Where do I point the finger? And how can we kick this guy out and exclude and marginalize and make him feel less included, less equal, and make everything more like us and less diversified? Which is what it looks like and feels like to a lot of people. And I'm not saying it is that way by intent. It's not the motivation on the part of the people that are excluding. Most likely it's the motivation of people that are doing it to, I think 90% of the time, try to improve that person they're excluding. Like, oh, they'll learn, they'll get the message, come back and do it the right way. But this is what's happening in churches. I'm not talking about building a wall or whatever you want to call the gulf of whatever. I'm talking about how followers of Jesus Christ behave. And at this time, these disciples wanted to know why was the reason this man was in this condition. What they didn't want to know was why and how. How is the Lord going to heal this guy? How is the Master going to make this situation? We're going to spend time and energy on this. Like we haven't spent any time and energy on anything else. They were probably watching and learning from all the other events that were going on, as far as I knew, and the stories that I got here, the accounts or whatever you want to call them. But then what they wanted to talk about here was, it was very important for them to go along and hear. Now they finally had it. Now let's settle the issue. Master, Rabbi, who's the at fault here? Him or them? Who can we blame? And who's going to pay for the wall? And look, man, to have these kind of issues discussed from the pulpit in church and have pastors tell people, look, and I'm especially I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it straight out, and I'm not going to say any names, but I'm going to say it. You know who you are. And you false teachers, and those of you that are following these false teachers, beware. First of all, to the false teachers, just repent. And I'm not saying anybody's not saved. What I'm saying is, this is false doctrine. It's not of Jesus Christ. It's not of the Bible. And this is the reason why, because it doesn't line up with basic, what would Jesus do? Don't tell me what would Jesus do. Tell me what did Jesus do. What would Jesus do is what, I don't know, you tell me what would he do, because you're Jesus now, man, and I'm Jesus. If I say I am Jesus, which I say I am, if I say I'm a Christian that's from and belonging to Jesus Christ, come on, man, I'm only talking about this one story. If you don't want to talk about the Bible and you want to talk about something else, that's fine. Look, and here I'm only talking to Christians. And I'm even talking to Christians. But anybody that wants to learn more about how to follow Jesus Christ and what to do if you were Jesus Christ and what would Jesus do, just read this. That's all you have to do. You don't need to go and buy a book by this guy or that person or whoever and, have an argument about women pastors or whatever. And these guys now, their priority is to form a task force to go out and root out and find out and locate and dismantle and eradicate anti-Christian bias, when what they need to do is get saved. Yeah, they need to just get born again, friends. And then they need to eradicate their sin in their own life. And I'm talking to myself first. Listen, look at this. Let me show you something. I'm talking to myself first. Do you not see who I'm pointing at here? I got 3 fingers pointing at me at all times. And one at you, reminding myself that we're all in this together, we're equals. And then I got one thumb pointing always at God, reminding me that we're all connected because of God. Come on, now I'm preaching and you know it. Man, I need a new catchphrase. I just need a new catchphrase. This is Christian Mukbang. Let me see something here, hold on. Okay, I got 3 minutes. And Jesus said, neither this man sinned nor his parents, but that I may do the works of the one who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when nobody can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. And that's it, friends. John chapter 9, verses 1 through 4. And this is Christian Mukbang. And this is Baker's Great Food Cluster Home. Come to Baker's. Yeah, that's going to be the thumbnail. And was that out of control? Yeah, it was. So remember these words, friends, from Qui-Gon Jinn, from Star Wars Episode 1, written by George Lucas, producer Rick McCallum, executive producer George Lucas, an all-time epic masterpiece. Remember, let me start that again. This is Christian Mukbang. Remember, your focus determines your reality. And may the Force be with us.